And we begin this Sunday morning with mass deportations across America and the Trump administration's grip on securing U.S. borders while confronting and deporting dangerous individuals illegally in America who are committing crimes. On Friday, the Supreme Court sided with the White House and temporarily halted a lower court decision that blocked President Trump from terminating the temporary protected status for roughly 500,000 migrants from Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela that began under former President Biden. As new data from U.S. Customs and Border Patrol shows, daily Border Patrol apprehensions at the southern border have declined by 93% in the month of April compared to a year earlier when President Biden was in office. Overall, border encounters are now at the lowest level ever after a record 10 to 20 million people crossed into America illegally under the Biden administration. And as the Trump administration pushes the agency to ramp up arrests of illegal immigrants to 3,000 a day, up from 1,800. The push coming as 2 illegal immigrants from Venezuela are charged in the death of an Air Force cadet in Texas. 18-year-old Ava Moore was killed over Memorial Day weekend while she was kayaking on Lake Grapevine, hit by a speeding jet ski, allegedly driven by 22-year-old Dakerlin Alejandra Gonzalez. Police say Gonzalez fled the scene with the help of 21-year-old Michael Coelho Pareto. Both entered the U.S. illegally in 2023 during President Biden's open border, according to ICE. Joining me now with more in this Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Madam Secretary, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me, Maria. It's an honor to be with you.
So, Secretary, I want to ask you about the sanctuary cities that are hiding illegal criminals right now. How are you getting to them? I saw that there was a list produced. Now, the list I don't see anymore in the media. Do you have a list of the sanctuary cities that are actually hiding illegals right now? And how will you get to them if they're hiding them?
We absolutely do. The president put out an executive order that directed us to recognize these sanctuary cities and to cooperate with the Department of Justice and the Homeland Security to identify them and how they're making our jobs much more difficult to keep America safe and to make it, a place that our families can raise their children again. And so that list going forward, some of the cities have pushed back. They think because they don't have one law or another on the books that they don't qualify, but they do qualify. They are giving sanctuary to criminals because they're not backing up our ICE officers, because they're not out there honoring detainers. They're not letting us know when these dangerous criminals are being released from their courthouses. And it's making it much more difficult for us to ensure that these individuals that have broken our laws, that have perpetuated violence, are brought to justice and are gotten out of our country. So that list is absolutely continuing to be used, and it is going to be identifying those cities and those jurisdictions that aren't honoring law and justice. Listen, we don't get to pick and choose what laws applies to people. This is America. Everyone is treated equally under the law, and we're ensuring that we're doing that under President Trump.
Well, Secretary, I want to get your take on how you're doing it and what the priorities are. Because, you've got globalists out there who are saying, they're going to arrest people who have jobs and that's going to impact the jobs market. And then we're not going to have the people to do the jobs we need. What do you want to say to those people who are critical of the president's agenda when it comes to immigration?
The president is doing exactly what he campaigned on and what the American people elected him to do, and that's enforce the law. And so we are going to do mass deportations. We are focusing on dangerous criminals. We are going out there and ensuring that people that repeatedly break our laws are being held accountable. And I would say and remind everybody that Congress directs what our laws are. They can change our programs. They can raise visa programs and guest worker programs. They can make it easier for us. We have suggestions, and I'm using all the authority that I have to meet our workforce needs. But also, we need to make sure that our communities are safer again. And those that think we can ignore these sanctuary cities and ignore laws so that we can keep somebody in a job is absolutely ridiculous. That's not what America is about. We have a workforce and a generation of people here in the United States that have been cheated out of jobs because of illegal immigrants that have come into this country and then taken advantage of housing programs and food programs and have had taxpayers pay their expenses. And it's not right. It's not fair. And it's time Americans come first, our citizens come first, and that our economy thrives because we are making sure that opportunities abound for those who live in this country.
That is such an important point. Secretary, thank you for your leadership on that. That is such an important point that you just made. And I want to zero in on something you said, and that is about visas. Because sometimes when I look at some of the issues going on in America right now, I feel like there's a Marxist thread. And I think that Marxist thread sometimes comes from the Communist Party of China. Now, you've zeroed in on universities as well, and how the universities are giving so much benefit to foreign students. I want to talk to you about Harvard and what the issue is with regard to the Communist Party of China. Lay it out for us.
Oh, they absolutely. Harvard has perpetuated Chinese Communist Party priorities and students on their campus. They've allowed their students to participate in activities that are paramilitary activities and supported them and feeding information back to our enemy, which is Communist China. In fact, even the leader, Xi Jinping of China's daughter, has a degree from Harvard. And hundreds of thousands of these foreign students have come into our country. And our universities have facilitated it because they pay full tuition. They've taken away opportunities from our American students, and then they've allowed them to perpetuate violence, attack Jewish students, go and put forward more anti-Semitism and be racists. And then communist and Marxist ideologies were allowed as well on these campuses. So Harvard has talked a game to where now they say they want to comply with the requirements of our foreign student programs. They absolutely have not. They have not followed the rules of the program, the vetting processes of these students, giving us the information on their criminal background checks, what they may have done to break the law in their country or here or promote violence on campus, and they won't comply. Therefore, they will not get to participate. They want these students on campus because it's almost 30% of their students. They pay full tuition, and they also have ties directly back to China. China hates us. And they have infiltrated our country. They've hacked into our systems. They've proven they can shut down our critical infrastructure. They're not just building up their military. They want to destroy us. And Harvard is allowing that to happen on their campus. And the Trump administration's going to stop it.
Unbelievable. Real quick, how much money, or do you know if Harvard has taken money from China?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know specifically, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, because these foreign students for years have paid full tuition. Plus, they've also gotten grants, special, participation in programs that China has financed and brought forward. So,
yes.
These ties to China are deeply alarming, and they're not just Harvard. There's other universities. We're going through every single one of them. If you come to this country to learn and you're a foreign student and you recognize the opportunity, that's fantastic. But don't come here and spy on us and take that information back home to an enemy that is working to destroy us every day. And China has infiltrated this country. It's my job to protect the homeland, and I've been given that direction by President Trump. They will not participate in this foreign student program until they clean up their ways.
Wow, such an important interview. Secretary, thank you so much for being here this morning.
You bet. Thank you, Maria. Thank you for talking about this. It's alarming, the danger that our country is in. And it's because we've allowed universities like Harvard to infiltrate our country with communist Chinese ties and students and spies.
All right. Secretary Kristi Noem, thank you.